message is about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Josh Hose Show. I'm your host, Dave Sheets, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tiger basketball team, Josh Hose. We'd like to once again thank our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Coach, welcome back to the show.
It's been a while. It's good to be back.
Good holidays?
Oh, absolutely. It was awesome.
Well, here we are, middle of January. We are now officially past the halfway point of the regular season. Your Tigers sit currently at 7-6. How does that record feel to you and your staff at this point?
I think we're pretty happy with it. You know, considering everything that's going on, it's been kind of a crazy first 13 games of the season. You know, losing Ardell Banks early with his injury, and you know, he's gone for the season, and then going through some lineup changes, and just kind of, you know, with the late start with football, et cetera. You know, except for one loss against Green, we've had a chance in every game in the last 3 minutes to win. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we always tell our guys, that's all we can ask for you is just, you know, to keep fighting like that. And, you know, so 7-6, we were a big 3-game weekend here. We were hoping to get all 3, which we were able to do last night with that win over Perry. And, you know, we'd like to have been in a better spot, but I think there's a lot of teams right now in our area that are in that, like, kind of that 500 range. Mm-hmm. Everybody's knocking each other off every other night. It's very unpredictable.
So if you could take a step back for a minute and look at this team kind of away from it, what has pleased you the most about this group?
Their resiliency, and they're just, again, showing up and keep fighting through some tough times and through some adversities, and they have a great energy. I think some of it's our youth. You know, there's some guys that are, you know, and Brady's coming on here in a little bit. They just show up and they have good energy, and they love basketball. They love to compete. They love to practice, et cetera. So, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I really enjoyed is just and then watching them come together and adapt and evolve as a team, where every game's a little different and different guys are in the rotation and different guys are contributing. So that's been kind of a fun thing, and we're still figuring it out as we speak. So, you know, it's going to continue to be fun to watch this team develop and grow up.
So opposite of that then, what areas do you think this team needs to make major improvement?
Oh man, there's a lot there. You know, I think we've been stressing about, you know, last night rebounding hurt us, and so we're not the biggest team. And you know, again, Brady coming on here is a 5'11", 6 foot tall forward for us. And, you know, he goes out and battles guys that are 6'5" and 6'6", and does a great job with that. You know, obviously Eli's 6'7" ish. You know, depending on how you measure him, but he's our one guy with like good height, and then after that we're pretty short, and so I think that's one area we got to do a better job of group rebounding and being physical on our box outs and whatnot. And then offensively, we get a little complacent at times. We settle for a lot of threes, and you know, I know early in a couple games against I think it was Dover, and I can't remember the other game offhand. We shot way too many threes to start the game. We just you know, just settled, and so I think those are a couple of areas. I think that, you know, maturing through that, we're better when we're attacking the basket and then kicking out to those shots or getting the ball to the lane. Like last night, we shot 17 foul shots. That was just, you know, something we said we need to get more foul attempts. We get more fouls drawn, and then defensively, just being a little bit more in tune. I think some of that, like, we just get disconnected and we lose a guy, and again, some of it, we're playing a lot of young guys, and that happens. You know, so those are 3 areas I think are the rebounding, defensively and offensively, where we need to improve.
Most coaches will say they love the consistency of an everyday starting lineup. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows their role. Bench players know their role. Have you had that luxury to have a consistent starting lineup? We
started the year one way, and then we were struggling. So, you know, I think after the McKinley game and Hoover game, we got two slow starts there and dug big holes. I think we were down 17 or 18 to McKinley. Fought almost all the way back, got within 2 a couple times in the last couple minute of the game. And then the Hoover game, I think we got down 19 and came back and tied that up. And what we found out was we had a group that was playing well together in those games, and so we made the switch to put that lineup in. So we've had probably 2 lineups essentially, but you're right. We tend to like to have like a set lineup. Guys have, if we can do it, guys have roles, and this guy's maybe the first sub for a guard, and this guy's the first sub for a forward, and we're kind of settling into that, and it's been nice. But the kids, we've said be adaptable, and if we have to make a change or a quick foul, and Brady's one sometimes that will get a quick foul early, and Dre Sean will come on for him, or if one of our guards gets one, then Drew Stitt will come on for them. So it's just we're kind of figuring that part out of it, and the kids, I think they're settling in. And Drew was just saying last night he's really enjoying coming off the bench now because he's starting to get a feel for that and settling into his role there.
Offensively, as far as you approach the game, and defensively, has that changed since the beginning of the season, where you hoped how it would look? Yeah. I guess.
I think defensively we've adapted a little bit. We were initially starting out like Coach Shorey, our new coach that came in this year as a teacher and a coach. I let him kind of do some defensive stuff, and he had some ideas, and we were doing it early in the year, and then I think we've adapted to what our personnel is and whatnot, and so we've got out of pressuring passing lanes and play with more of what they call gap defense, so pressuring the ball, but then we're in gap help. And how that looks. And then offensively, really, we haven't changed our philosophy. We've added some things and taken some things away. I was just talking to Coach Saban last night from Perry. I said, our December is kind of like everybody else's November, where we're experimenting with lineups and experimenting with who plays well and what works and what doesn't work. Because that's what you usually do in the preseason, but we don't have our full roster of kids, so we kind of have to slug through the first couple of games there and kind of learn on the fly. So. We haven't made any major changes on the offensive end. And defensively, we're pretty much, we're man-to-man. We're just making small adaptations to how we're playing that.
In a moment, we'll meet a Tiger player, but first, this time out, and a word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Josh Ho Show. Our Tiger player joining us this week is sophomore forward Brady Manson. Brady, welcome to the show.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Brady, how old were you when you first learned the game, and do you remember who taught it to you?
I'm not sure how old I was, but I remember just playing basketball with my brothers outside, my neighbor. That's where I started playing. And then who really first taught me would be our coach, Marquise. He's always been my coach since like my first year I've ever played. And that's who I remember really teaching me how to play basketball.
What are the parts of the game you worked on in the off season to improve your game?
I was lifting a lot, trying to get bigger because I'm not the tallest, but still like to get out down there and bang. And I worked on a little bit of ball handling. Just when I would lift, like between sets, I would just bounce the ball and tried to get better at shooting. Not the best shooter, but I'm working on it and just finishing around the rim.
Did you set any personal goals for yourself coming into this season?
Yeah. Goal I set was I wanted to be a starter sometime in the season, which I got there, but I still want to do more. It's not really doing much, but just get a lot of wins this season. It's a good goal.
How has your role in this team changed since the start of the year?
The beginning of the year, I was more just energy guy. Mainly, that's really it at the beginning. But now, I get in there and get more rebounds, get my teammates, I pass the ball, good passes. Still bring that energy though, but just a little bit more from the beginning.
How do you feel about your team's 7-6 record at this point in the season?
I think it's good for us. All our games been close, other than the Green game. We had a chance with every game, so I think it's better than what it sounds like, but it's still pretty good.
And finally, I understand you have the nickname of Arms.
Yep.
Who gave you that, and how did that come about?
Chase Duplain on our team, who doesn't play this year, but he played last year. He started that. and it was just when we were lifting.
Okay.
Said I got little legs, said I'd be skipping leg day. Said I got big arms, so just call me Arms.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Brady Manson joining us on the Josh Ho Show. We will come back and speak again with Coach Hose after we take this time out.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
Welcome back to the Josh Ho Show. Coach, we just spoke with sophomore forward Brady Manson in our last segment. Tell us more about Brady and his impact on the team so far this year, both on and off the floor.
Brady brings a ton of energy to our team in a good way, like a positive energy. He runs on the court, he runs off the court. If anybody's an 80s WWE fan, when he comes on the court, it reminds me of the Ultimate Warrior entering the ring. He just comes running on there, and you know you're getting 100% effort. And I think our team responds so well to that. The other cool thing with Brady is I think he's first or second in plus minus for us, which is a report that shows us when he's on the court, are we points ahead or points behind our opponent. And that's a good way to value like somebody's, because he's not a kid that scores a ton for us. He can score, but he doesn't like put up double figures every night. He rebounds, but he's not like a double-digit rebounder. He just does a little bit of everything. But Brady creates so much when he's on the court. And I noticed that 2 summers ago, he wasn't here for a week, and we had a really bad week. And I didn't piece it together till later. I'm like, Brady wasn't there. I think he makes everybody play harder. I think he just brings something. He gets a hand on a lot of deflections and rebounds. He may not get it, but he just tips it, keeps it alive, and somebody else gets it. So you can't value his production always on his stats, but that plus minus shows he's bringing value on the court, and so that's a big part of why he's in our starting lineup now as a sophomore. Last year we were high on him. He got hurt. And it was an unfortunate situation. He broke his wrist at a game at Worcester College in a classic there. He fell awkwardly, broke his wrist. The day he got his cast off, he breaks his ankle in a game over at St. Thomas. And I was really proud because that was a tough blow to take. And he just, he soldiered through that a little bit and toughened up. But he just, went through a tough situation there, but has bounced back and had a great year for us. And like I said, that just... can't say enough to what he brings to our, and people will notice it. Like the Dover coach has said, I told our guys that 22 he's going to make a play here. It's going to impact the game, and he got the deflection at the end there. They got us the ball back towards the end of the game, and so I just, he's fun to watch. If you come to our games, you're going to love watching him play.
And basketball is one of those sports where it is a team sport, but an individual who does a lot of little things that go unchecked makes a big difference. Absolutely.
Well, if anybody's familiar with the Cavs. He said, he's your Anderson Varejao.
There you go.
And you got the floppy hair and everything. So it's a great analogy or a great comparison.
Before we talk about your upcoming games this week, how about an update on your freshmen and your JV teams?
So freshmen and JV are doing mostly well. I mean, freshmen has had some up and down. They've had a lot of close losses like us. I think they're sitting around that, I want to say 6-6, 6-5 mark. And then our JV team, I believe, is at 11-1 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're having a really good year. They lost to Dover a couple weeks ago in a Monday night game down there in a close one that they battled back and then got it close and then they end up losing at the end. But yeah, I mean they're having a great year and there's a lot of guys on there that are kind of playing some double duty varsity JV. kind of fluctuating back and forth. And Smitty does a good job of navigating it, with me saying, hey, this kid's got 3 quarters a night, that kid's got 2. It's not as bad as it was last year with him, but it's definitely been a tough thing when you're coach. I've been a JV coach before, and you got your lineups changing because kids are being pulled up or sitting for a quarter because you only have 6 a night between whatever levels they're playing. So really good for those levels, and excited to see how they finish out the year.
So we are coming off the Martin Luther King weekend. You had 3 games in 4 days.
Yes.
So 2 games this week. Let's start with Saturday the 21st. You're going to go to Hudson, take on the Explorers. What do you know about them?
Well, we got to see Hudson on Saturday. So we played Friday night against Central, turned around, played Saturday at the Spectrum Orthopedics Classic and against Woodridge. And the game right after us was Dover and Hudson. So I watched the first half of that. Coach Shorey watched the whole game because we had them next. And you always like to watch against an opponent you're familiar with, having just played Dover. So Dover ended up winning that one overtime. But the Hudson is big. They're 6'4", 6'7", wow. In their starting lineup. So very similar to Perry last night. Very long team, and so they're going to present some matchup issues. So we're going to have to play well. I like our group going into it, and just we're going to start focusing on them. We have an off day today after that long weekend. Get some legs rested. Get some guys, just get kind of let them have some time to get focused on other things, and come back tomorrow rested and ready to go. But yeah, we'll get that scout ready, and they play in a really tough league up there. That the Metro. I think it's the Metropolitan League, that Suburban League, I'm sorry, with teams like Twinsburg and Wadsworth and, I'm trying to think, Solon. There's really a lot of big D1 schools, and they're right in the mix with that. And so we're going to, and we're going up there to their place for the first time, so that's always, adds an element that's a little tougher.
And then next week, the 24th of January, come back home to face Boardman.
Yes, Boardman, young team. We lost to them last year in the tournament. Played them twice within about a week and a half. They had a lot of seniors last year, so they're young, but they're battling. And he's a really good coach up there. He does a good job. Haven't looked at them a whole lot yet. We've been kind of, like I said, I told our guys even last night, this weekend, I went into it, it was really focused on getting Central. Because I thought, you get that first one, and then let's take care of the next 2. And I let the assistant coaches focus on Woodridge and Perry as we move forward. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We're just focusing on getting that one against Hudson, and then we'll get ready for Boardman, obviously in the meantime. But I think they're going to be a team that's going to be, come down here. They're getting some momentum. They were young early in the year, but by this time they have some experience and game experience. And again, they play a tough schedule. Just that Youngstown area is, always got good basketball.
Well, let's hope we can extend this winning streak, huh?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Josh, and that'll do it for this edition of the Josh Hose Show. I want to thank our sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling, along with head coach Josh Hose and sophomore forward Brady Manson for joining us on the show this week. I'm Dave Sheets, your host, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our career technical education department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.
Around here, we like to cheer for the local team, and MCTV is here to connect you to the game. MCTV provides reliable high-speed internet and Wi-Fi. From checking scores online, to streaming games or watching replays, or even playing the game yourself, we've got the speed you need. Call today to add or upgrade internet service. We're connecting what matters most. MCTV. We go the extra smile.